Dart Talk carries the Internet Broadcast Rating TVD, a broadcast that is specifically designed to be viewed or heard by the darting community, and therefore may be incomprehensible to other lesser mammals. Darter discretion advised.
It's time for Dart Talk, brought to you by TheDartZone.com. Stay in the zone. TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor, and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics, and Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, well,
Okay. All right.
welcome to Dart Talk.
Welcome.
Nothing like
Nothing like starting a show like this, let me tell
I'm
you.
telling you, when we get a resume for Chat Room Girl, it's going to say must be able to hold one's breath for a minute and a half without cracking
Not
up.
only that, I said everybody has to shut up before we start the show, and she said that's being rude. You should say be quiet. Well, she did shut up, but she was not quiet, so she was right. I should have said everybody be quiet.
See?
Welcome to Dart Talk.
Welcome. How's it going?
Good. What is it, last day of July?
It
Hi,
is the
Jen.
last day of July, yes.
July 31st, 2013. Steve Poncielman with Mystery Mark and Chat Room Girl, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Redwood Darts. How y'all doing?
Very well, thank you.
It was like
I'm doing great.
All right.
It's
So-
hump day.
it was the most casual pre-show fist fight we ever had.
It
I
was.
just
It was, yeah,
sat
it was
here
very-
while she updated her resume.
Right.
And it's funny that, okay, whoops. I asked for her resume, so I would have it on file as Chat Room Girl.
That is
And
so wrong, by the
jo-
way.
And the job requirements for a Chat Room Girl are relatively straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
One must be able to type, one must be able to read, and one must be able to be quiet during the opening. So, I mean, 2 out of 3
Which-
ain't bad, right?
I think
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well,
Well, and to be Chat Room Girl, I think it requires a female.
Well, yes.
I-
just by the moniker
3 out of
itself.
4.
Yes.
Let me make sure I add that
Yes.
to the job
That does-
description.
right. You
can
have
we
to
do the
put that.
disclaimer now? Can we do the disclaimer?
Oh, yes.
Can
Why
we
don't
do-
we disclaim why don't we disclaim something? You guys ready for the disclaimer?
don't
We have a new
disclaim-
disclaimer.
Everything.
So let me see if I can find it. Here it is.
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
There you go.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
I like that. The new disclaimer. That's nice.
Thanks to our announcer. Got it in right on time, and I think I sent it to him last night at like 10 o'clock at night or something. And many thanks, Love of My Life actually wrote most of that.
Very entertaining.
So that worked out pretty good.
And it works. You know,
we
it
might
works.
play it again for the second half just
I
because
think
we
we have
all
to.
enjoyed it so
But
much.
Yes.
it just works out.
It does. I don't know. There weren't any cheap shots in there anyway. So, or at any rate, I don't think. We'll see. We'll see
Well,
what kind of nasty.
Everybody,
grams we get.
anybody can.
I heard a
figure
lot
out a cheap
actually.
shot.
I had a lot of people. I was down in Nashville for the weekend for the Music
Mhm.
City Classic, one of my favorite tournaments. And yeah, the cherry picking thing. Yeah, I heard a lot about that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was kind of like
Got some
okay.
grief.
Hey, whatever. I mean,
It'll
I
happen.
I say what I say, and I stand by it. I try to be fair.
You're right.
None of us are perfect. Well, I'll speak for you and me. I don't know about Chat Room Girl. She
Right.
might consider herself perfect.
She might. You
But
know, I mean, really?
I
The,
am
um,
definitely not perfect and never want to be.
The one comment that I'll share with everybody, and we'll put an end to this cherry picking thing, was I had a very short talk Friday night with Dieter Schutz, and I love Dieter. Dieter's like a very intelligent guy, and all he wanted to tell me was like, look, you can't be anti-player. That was his attitude. It's like I said something that was anti-player, which I was like, well, geez, Dieter, I mean, if anything, our show's been pro-player from day one. So to have something construed as anti-player, I actually was like kind of bummed about that. So anyway,
I get the concept, though. The concept is the same argument from one side to the other. It's like if a player chooses to go somewhere and that's what he's saying, now you're anti-player. I would.
Yeah.
I
It
would-
looked like
I
I
would-
crossed some sort of line, apparently. but-
apparently, I mean,
yeah.
I would lean towards your side of the line, but I can see both sides of the story. I
Yeah,
guess.
I could totally see,
You
and guys were making fun of it. There was a 4-person team
Well-
called the Cherry Pickers, and we ended up losing to them in the. First
really,
round,
in the
so that
long
was
run,
fun.
that's what it should be. It should all be made fun of. I mean, it's like we're not dead serious on everything we say here. It's not.
I am.
Well, then why do you just laugh?
I don't know. 'Cause I'm not.
So
I
I
was
mean,
kidding.
there's some comic relief involved with everything, and just because somebody doesn't agree with something you say, so you make a joke about it and you move on, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, it's all said and done.
Water
We'll
under
see.
the bridge,
We'll see. I don't know. I don't really hold grudges
water off a duck's back.
unless they're really called for.
Right.
All right, so let's start off with the world match.
The
play,
world match play.
which unfortunately I did not get a chance to watch every frame, seeing as I was playing at a
Dude,
tournament
you missed
myself.
some good darts.
Boy, I'm telling you. I put in the link to the show that we were going to talk about the 53%. The final was absolutely a spectacular
amazing.
level of play. That it's weird.
Best of
It-
31
it-
legs, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was best of 31. Or was it? No, it was best of
Best of
35.
35, I'm
Yeah, it was
sorry,
the
best of
final was
35.
best of 35. So
Yeah.
I think it was 18-13. And the funny thing about Phil, and because you see him more than any other player, if you follow this stuff, he's always set an incredible standard. But I think even he would admit that he exceeded it.
You're right.
With the performance in
He
this
just stepped it up
particular-
another level.
I mean, to average over 110 for 31 legs is one thing. When you're playing a guy that in 31 legs threw like 19-ton 80s, right, and is pressuring you and pressuring you and pressuring you, and you fight him off with a never-ending string of ton 40s, and you hit more than half your doubles,
Right.
and leave the guy who I think he averaged like 105, 106,
105
whatever it
point
was.
something.
105 point something. And he's just shaking his head like, I played great. I played awesome. I'm so happy with the way I played, and yet here I am in second place.
Right.
I
And
mean,
he lost by 5 legs.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't
Yeah. Lost by a couple
17
of
to
breaks. Oh,
6,
yeah.
or 18 to 17, whatever it would have been.
It was Usain Bolt when he set the world record in the 200 meter. I mean, he broke the world record by almost a second. I mean, it was some insane display of expertise. The likes
and the guy
of
in
which,
second breaks his own records.
Yeah.
And isn't even close.
Right. The likes of which no one on this planet has ever seen.
Right.
I mean, honestly, anybody who hasn't seen it yet, go on YouTube or go on the PDC website and check out this final. And if you're not inspired to get out and hit the board, I don't know.
They probably
what
don't keep stats on it, but I mean, could you imagine? I mean, what are the chances of anybody shooting 53 point some percent on their outs, especially for 31 legs, let alone 11?
Oh, I've seen higher averages, on checkouts, just not combined with this insane level of scoring. I mean, to average 110 for an entire match, I mean, what is that? Oh my gosh, I threw a 125. Every time you throw a ton, your average goes down. I mean, I think a lot of people would like to have that problem.
I would think so, yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, well, for sure.
It was just, you're talking about, standards and everything. And, we talk about how we need to get, a tour going here so, people don't have to traipse off to Europe. Let the Europeans come here and play our events. Let's make them that good. that level of play, I mean, people are going to be pointing to that match in 5 years saying nobody's exceeded it yet.
Right.
But
I can see that.
the long format, was funny. I haven't played the Diddle Tour in a while. We have the Nashville results. We will get to them, later in the show. We have them all. What struck me was, we had played the PDC the week before. Long format 01, compared to the World Match Play short format, because it was only like, best of 11 or what have you. But, the level of play I saw from guys like, Larry Butler and Darren Young and people that had played in Chicago. Now you're on the Diddle Tour where it's like, diddle every leg, best of 3. You can't really get in much of a rhythm.
Right.
The matches are so short, and then the delays between matches, especially in the first couple of rounds, is so long. I watched some of the finals, and we will compliment some people, later in the show. But I remember thinking all week, and I was like, man, we gotta figure out some way to get longer formats so guys can play better.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine anybody at that tournament who wouldn't have been happy to play better than they did, right? And one of the ways that you play better, aside from controlling, conditions like lighting and drafts and whatnot, is to, have a format where you have a chance to get in a rhythm and a chance to throw your very best, right? We've been
I agree
advocating
with
that forever.
But sure, I mean, yeah.
So,
well, we're getting there.
Yeah. And the semifinals at the match play were just as
intriguing.
Great. Yeah, just as great. I mean, close matches. Now, I did not. I had MVG making the final.
Correct.
So
well, you were chalk.
Yeah, but look who won. Look, I mean, I was chalk, but they all made the semis. So that's the thing with the long format. A long format allows people to play their best, and then the best players get through.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Well, how fun picking a bracket is that?
Well, it was fun for everybody that
You
picked
homer?
Adrian Lewis over MVG.
Well,
right?
sure.
And they had a heck of a tussle.
Mm-hmm.
And they both played really good. I saw the interview. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole match, but I saw Van Gerwen's interview. He's like, basically, it was a never-ending string of I missed 2 at double 8, I missed 2 at double 8, I missed 2 at double 8. I mean, that's how close the match was, right?
Right.
Wadey played good. Wadey played, about what I expected him to do. I expected James Wade to play his very best darts, and he did, and he couldn't get anywhere near Phil. I mean, if Phil plays like this in the World Championships,
do you think
he's a
MVG
lock.
should have beat Lewis?
No, I think they played about the same. I mean, I always figured Lewis was a superior finisher.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been the one thing about Van Gerwen, that it's like if he's going to become the next totally dominant player in darts, he has to finish more consistently. He has to finish better. And I'm not talking about taking out 170s and 164s.
No,
I'm talking about taking out 70.
Right. 82,
Yeah.
whatever.
Where he's fine hitting the triple, but now he's got 2 darts at a double, and they go wayward.
Right.
And where are you? Right? No, down a leg, right? So I don't know. Let's take our first break, and then we'll come back, and we'll do some Nashville results.
All right.
That sounds good. You listen to Dart Talk with Mark, Steve, Chatroom Girl. You'll be right back. Okay, welcome back for the second quarter.
Yes, that is
that right?
correct. That is correct.
Brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Jeff Dodson.
And Jeff Dodson.
Yeah, we got some new bumpers we'll be playing during
Very
the
nice.
show. All thanks to Jeff. Sat down with him in Nashville and actually turned on the
they're good.
recorders. So, did
I like
you like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Guy's great. I like listening to him. And somebody's chiming in. What
Cake's
you got?
done.
I got a question from my chat room.
Okay.
So was that the best you've ever seen Phil Taylor play?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Premier League match where he threw the 2 9-darters and almost threw 2 back-to-back was a shorter format, but that's
ridiculous.
And he had a little bit of a lull in there, but it was insane. I mean, it was like 7-7, and all of a sudden it was just like I lost count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16 or 17 straight perfect darts or something to pull clear.
Yeah.
And then he whiffed on a double to win it. And he had to play one more leg. And I'm trying to remember which world championship where it was just like I lost track
But
of
from
how many
that's a
7
shorter
counts he threw. Yeah.
format. From,
Yeah, that was
from
a shorter format.
From a consistency standpoint,
Yeah.
this could possibly be
I'm
unremarkable.
I'm trying to remember. It was a few years ago, and I don't remember which world championship it was. And he played good when he lost to Barney.
Mm-hmm.
That for a stretch there, I think he was ahead 3-0 or something like that on Barney before Barney took out the 170, and he played about as perfectly as a man can possibly play this game. But he didn't sustain it, and he ended up losing the match. So, but this was something. This was really something.
Very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. Let's talk
Do
about
some Nashville.
Yeah, you want to do the results and then talk about the tournament, or talk about the tournament and then do the results?
Let's do the results because you end up talking about the tournament in the middle of the results anyway.
Well, I'm not going to do that. We're going to try something different. So we'll
So-
play a little background music while you guys tag team on the results.
We're going men's first or female first?
Oh, no, do the men's first.
All right, Friday night pro singles, top 4, Pat Hewitt, Nick Lindberg, Darren Young second, and Leonard Gates first.
Friday night women's singles. Third, fourth, Marlies Keel, Kim Keller. Second, Sarah Simmons. And first, Paula Murphy.
Friday draw doubles 501, top 4, Rondell Jones, Nick Lindberg, Dave Smothers, Danny Bagish. Second place goes to Sean Patrick, Gene Waltz, and first place goes to Barry Bear and Ryan Barnett.
Mixed trips. Top 4, Missy Tate, Dan Lobby, Steve Brown. Sarah Simmons, Bob Seneve, Jim Widmeyer. Second, Valerie Goad, Jason Barlow, Danny Bagish. And your first place winners are Marlies Keel, Gordon Dixon, and DJ Sayer. Garden.
Garden.
I've been eating a lot of salad lately.
There's a good nickname.
He's going to love that one.
Yeah. he
Hey,
loves
Garden.
Hi, Garden
me.
Dixon.
No, it's
Anyway,
Gordon.
sorry, did you finish?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
They were first, and DJ Sayer.
Men's 501, well, of course, DJ Sayer. Men's 501 doubles, top 4, Garden Dixon, DJ Sayer,
You
Johnny
guys, you
Lackey,
get me in
and Scott
trouble.
Wolston. Second place, Trent Sumner and Mickey Eldridge. Jim Woodmayer and Bob Seneve win men's doubles 501.
And women's 501 singles, top 4, Angie McKnight, Gloria Gutierrez. Second, Paula Murphy, and your winner is Lisa Ayers.
Men's 501 singles, top 4, Danny Pace, Joe Cheney, Darren Young second, and Leonard Gates first.
Women's 501 doubles, top 4, Jamie Drisick, Sarah Simmons, Jesse McCowan, and Carrie Stevenson. And second, Mary Beth Collins McCollins. I'm having a hard time tonight. And Jill Hutchison. And your first place was Brenda Rausch and Renee Ripple.
Your 4-person is top 4, Scott Wolston, Ryan Barnett, John Lackey, and George Hams, with Eric Gregory, Brad Oxendine, Trish Kresick, and Chris McCowan. Second place goes to Darren Young, Larry Butler, Jim Widmeyer, Bob Seneve. First place goes to Tom Bob Gardner, Conley Litton, Levi Remick, and Leonard Gates.
Women's blind draw, top 4, Blondie and Mary Beth Collins, Kay Hoover and Jennifer Ellert. Second goes to Lisa Ayers and Monica Scholl. And first place is Tammy Kasperzik and Valerie Goode.
Valerie Goad.
Fairly
Good.
good. Saturday night draw, top 4, Tommy Hopkins, Brandon Johnson, Dale Loudon, and Wolfie Chambers. Second place goes to Nick Lindbergh, Chris Cagle, and first place goes to Fireball Brian Langley.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know who Fireball is.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either.
Sorry.
Women's cricket singles, top 4, Kay Hoover, Brenda Roush. Second, Paula Murphy. And first place goes to Trish Grezik.
Men's cricket doubles, top 4, Steve Brown, Dan Lobby, Jason Barlow, and Danny Baggish. Second place, Darren Young, Larry Butler, with Jim Widmeyer and Bob Sneeve winning men's cricket doubles.
Women's cricket doubles, top 4, Kay Hoover and Kim Keller, Jamie Drisick and Sarah Simmons. Second goes to Trish Grezik and Sandy Haas. And first place goes to Paula Murphy and Sandy Hudson.
And your men's cricket singles are Ryan Burnett, Larry Butler, Bob Sneeve, and Jim Widmeyer.
Okay, and then why don't you just read off all the Utes that played? Go in reverse order.
is she done?
Congrats. Yeah, I think so.
This is like having the extra Christmas present.
Lucky
Oh,
you.
you get the extra Christmas
I get the
present.
extra Christmas present. So your youth event. A
Yeah,
whole
just
bunch
ignore
of
the places and,
Oh,
and
okay.
rattle them off.
Tommy Rodman, Jamie Rose, John Cantrell III, Mary Beth Collins, Abigail Rose, Gil Nash, Patrick McEwen, Kenny McEwen, Carly Polay, TJ Poiler, whatever. I'm sorry if I mispronounced
Sorry
it.
about that one. Yeah, I don't know.
Marley Rose, Richie King, Gracie Melton, Bubba Melton, Sadie Sharp, Kim Keller. Top 16, Isaac Bowers, Weeble,
Sarah Simon.
Sarah
Yep.
Simon. Landon Vandegrift, Glenn Bowers, Lauren Butler, Trish Kresick, Hunter Melton, Chuck Pankow, Hayden, Joel White, Jason Griffin. Your top 8 is Carl DeSico, Brian Plum, Caleb Daniel Alt, Stephen Sharp, Taylor Sharp, Jordan Baggis, and Soldier Gates, Leonard Gates. Top 4 goes to Jacob Medley, Jim Medley, Trey Dollar, and Kim Harbor. And second place goes to Dominic Gooden, Danny Baggish, with James Butler and Larry Butler winning your youth event.
Yeah, they like it that you put mood. It says Steve puts on mood music while Mark and Sassy announce the results. Late night jazz at Dark Talk.
Well, that was well.
I
Here
like
was
it.
well, Music City Classic.
like
I
it.
got to sit down and actually play a little bit with Jeff Dotson. We tried it in Chicago, and the recorder didn't work,
Did
so
we
we
cover
sat
the 3
down and
minutes,
actually. Yeah, way over.
Oh, okay.
I had to start the thing over again, but it's okay. It was relatively
Probably
seamless.
read pretty fast.
Well, it's funny. When you got that many events,
There's a lot.
There's a lot to read.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a water break now.
A water break. Well, no. So I sat down with Jeff Dodson and we turned on the recorder, and because the deal with the show is like, you can't use copyrighted stuff. You can't use stuff that people own the royalties on and stuff unless we pay them money, and we have no money to pay
No.
anybody. We can't pay ourselves.
Right.
So Jeff was kind enough to sit down with me and play some stuff, and it was like the highlight of my weekend basically, except for the dromedary that tried to eat my shirt on Monday.
Pardon me?
We
Oh,
went to the zoo on Monday.
That's right. Right.
My mom.
Tried to eat your shirt?
My mom is 82 years old, and I always thought, was afraid of animals. So let's go take her to the elephants, right? And I got a picture of her, like, feeding an elephant and stuff. Then we went to see the new Galapagos tortoises that had just arrived, like, 2 days before.
From?
Everyone should get one if they're tired of cutting the grass, because these things were just kind of mowing a little patch.
Nice.
And apparently they sleep 16 hours a day.
And I'm
live
sure
to
everybody could just
150.
go out and get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's better than a Toro.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So then, well, and
Much more entertaining, too.
well, and then they had some baby dromedaries, and I wanted to get a picture of one because somebody's always talking about Hump Day, right? So I was like, well, let's get a
Hump
picture of a
Day.
dromedary because if we use the one from the commercial, we're liable for whatever.
Okay.
Even though we have a disclaimer, apparently,
Disclaiming
people-
us of all. Right.
Yeah. So anyway, no, but I thought, to have some background music. I don't know if we did that like the first month of the show or something. I don't know. Did it
Why
work
did
for
this
you?
thing
Was it
try to
too
eat
loud?
your shirt?
I don't know. It was just at one point it picked up a brush in its mouth and then slapped it in my hand, and I'm like, oh, I get it. You want me to brush you, right? So we were buddies. I mean, they seem like the best pets you can have. I just think you need a house with high ceilings.
Okay. Well, that would
Yeah.
make sense.
As far as that goes.
Yeah.
Well, no. One of the things that really struck me about Nashville this year was, Leonard Gates showed up, and I don't think I've ever seen him there. He won the Friday night pro singles, like by basically annihilating Darren. I don't think Darren took a leg on stage, and then in the 501 singles the next day, he beat Darren, and I don't think Darren took a leg off him. He was playing really well,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of guys playing really well, but not the names that you would expect. I give you an example. It was I don't know if it's a top 16. I was playing James Cotton, and James is one of these guys that goes back further than me. Took time off for whatever reason, family stuff, whatever. Can't afford, doesn't have the time to go travel every weekend, and that dude lit me up. I mean, of course, ask me how many diddles I won this weekend, but anyway, guy lit me
Hey,
up.
how many
I mean,
diddles did
my
you win
guess-
this weekend?
my guess
I think
is
3.
My guess is close your eyes and what do you see?
I'll tell you, the diddling was like a total nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about it on the drive home because it's like an 8.5-hour drive where you get to beat yourself up. And I'm like, how many diddles did I win? And the diddles I won involved the other guy missing the bullseye by a little bit more than me because
You didn't even stick it.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
horrible. It was
right.
horrible. So I'm playing James Cotton. I lose a diddle. And after 12 darts, I'm sitting on 12. And I don't get a look at it. He takes out like a 117 or something.
Really?
And I'm like,
Nice.
well, I'll get him the next leg. I lose that diddle, and I'm like, oh, this has disaster written all over it. And sure enough, he wins that leg. He takes out like I think 110 or something. I'm like, hey, good game, 2 legs.
Right.
I don't
117 and 110?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He asked me later, did I take out 2 over 110? I'm like, well, I remember one. I don't remember the other one, but it
You're
was
pretty
just sort
sure.
of like, yeah, good game. But I mean, literally, I played 12 darts and 12 darts. I played 24 darts was the match. How many darts do you think those guys played at the World Match Play? I think it was more than 24.
2,400.
Yeah, I mean, it was just sort of like, okay, and that's the thing about the Diddle Tour that kills me, is like a 9-hour drive to throw 24 darts. Well, I mean, I played matches before that and stuff, but I mean, to play best of 3, diddle every leg, I just am like, you got to be kidding me with
Right.
this. There's absolutely no reason for anyone to travel for that. Right, and then the cricket. You know how I am with cricket. I'm like, I've so had it with cricket.
Well, right. I mean, the thing is I agree that, everything we talk about is we're trying to, you want long format everywhere you go. If certain tournaments aren't going to do it, if you want to go to Nashville because, you get to see your mom and you play in the tournament, then so be it, you know.
Well, it was a great
and then,
time.
Then it's a reason to go drive 9 hours to play in the tournament, also see some family and do everything else. But for, a general, traveling expense, if, you map out your whole year, it doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's worried about, people coming to their tournaments. People are worried about participation and whatnot. Okay. What do you got?
I got to quote this one from Hickory's. Steve's diddles sound more like piddles than middles.
Oh, nice. Hey, nice play on piddle for the middle there.
Right.
I like that. Thanks, Hickories. Oh, dude,
You weren't diddling against Ray Carver, were you?
No, it didn't
You-
matter who
it
I
was the
diddled.
ghost.
No,
it was the ghost of Ray Carver. Is really what it is.
No, it didn't really matter who I diddled against. I mean, it was just like I had a total inability to win a diddle. And I saw a lot of double bulls too.
That's usually your best number.
I threw 2.
It used to be.
I threw 2 6 counts on the bulls, and still couldn't win a diddle. You explain that one to
I
me.
can't.
In the immortal words of Bill Davis, American international veteran player, I'm a head case. That's Bill's conclusion. So anyway, all right, let's take a break, and we'll be back for the second half. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mark, Steve, Chat Room Girl. We'll be right back. Whoops. Uh-oh. Whoops. There's a whoops involved here. Okay, back for the second half, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
DartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Redwood Darts and Windy City Fabricators.
I thought we were already on the third quarter. Oops.
Did I say second half? or
No,
second
you're
quarter?
correct.
Well, third
You said
quarter is in the second half.
Oh, I meant fourth quarter.
This is the
Are we
third.
all? It's the third, right?
Yeah.
Don't
I
cheat
got
me
you.
out of the bumpers that I
You were-
spent
got you all
so
screwed
long
up.
trying
Hey,
to
we
get.
were
I
going to
wanted.
disclaim again, starting the second half.
Oh yeah, let's do the disclaimer again. We'll all have a
Oh,
laugh.
yeah.
Okay.
I'll get a
The views, opinions, rants, and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining, and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained, and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
I love it.
I do too.
It's like swimming in raw sewage.
That,
I love it.
that
Love
worked
it.
out better than my wildest dreams. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
What are we talking about now? We should preview something.
We got
Darts
you want to
Live.
preview Darts Live?
Well, right. Okay, so the biggest dart event for the upcoming week is the second. What is it? What are they calling it?
Second, it's America's stage. It's the second
America's
stage. America's
stage 2 of America's
yeah,
tour.
There you go. Stage 2 America's tour. Yeah.
That's your job.
You got that?
Well, dude,
Yeah,
I've
I
got
got that.
have my own big tournament this weekend. So okay.
Well, right, and I did. By the way, the Darts for Kids. That's south of Springfield, Illinois.
Litchfield.
There is now in Litchfield.
yeah, it's in Litchfield.
It's in Litchfield. There is a link to the flyer on the Dart Talk Facebook page if anybody wants to get over there that isn't going to.
Gonna be a great time.
Oh, you
isn't
got
going
that
to
this
Madison.
weekend?
Yep, lots
Yeah.
of good raffles. A lot of good things that were donated to raffle off.
I unfortunately got a phone call last night, and I won't be able to attend the Litchfield event.
Okay, what was your phone call?
It was saying that they had room for me in Madison for the
Really?
Darts Live. Yeah, so I'm going to go up and I took a while, but I found some soft tip darts. They were kind of buried in the
Well,
bookcase
you can't
there.
play any worse than this weekend, so what's the big deal?
Well, I didn't play that badly. I mean, I lost. I blew. I had Darren Young beat cold in top 8 and totally blew it. Like, I haven't blown a match like this in a long time. I think I had 10 match starts, something like that. I haven't done that in a long time.
I actually played some soft tip darts over the weekend.
How'd it
First
go?
time in, well, it was all right. Well, I was playing a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, so they
So
thought I was
took-
king.
Took their money.
Yeah, oh yeah. $1 game. Ding, ding, ding. Easy,
Where do
easy
you
money.
go to get $1 a game? Honestly, where
You go on a golf trip with 4 other people, and then all of a sudden you
Oh.
start talking about darts, and they're like, hey, we're going to a bar tomorrow. Let's go play some darts. And then
Okay.
5 games into it, they're like, I'm done.
Well, you got to let them win one.
No, I couldn't.
Really.
I mean, I didn't play
You're
great.
just, you're
but
just so awesome.
they didn't play well at all, and it was just,
Well, they don't know how to
But
play, right?
Anyway, it
I
was
mean,
the first. The point was, it was the first time I've actually probably thrown a plastic tip dart in since I moved up here.
Was it fun?
Yeah, I liked it.
You didn't like break out in hives or
No,
anything.
no.
I mean,
My- yeah, my-
you came
my-
from soft
My
tip.
yeah, no, that's what I
Right?
started with. Yeah,
Your first like leagues and
played
stuff were soft tip.
soft
weren't they?
tip for
Yeah.
12 years or whatever before I played steel. So
Well,
it was interesting, but I'll tell you what, the first couple throws, man, I almost missed the board up below the 3. Everything was like, it was hard, but then I got used to it. It was fine again.
you got to knock off the rust.
Yeah.
You got to knock off the rust. I mean, the I'm looking forward to going to Madison just because when I look at these Darts Live events, I think of them as being like I can see a flood of steel tip players going to play these things,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure that the people that have supported dart tip or soft tip for decades are going to be all that terribly fond of it. I mean, if a soft tip or if a dart player who predominantly plays soft tip, because I guess there's a PC thing now. Like a couple of guys have said, well, why don't you just refer to people as dart players? I'm like, oh, okay,
Right.
that's fine with me. But if you're a dart player that never plays steel tip,
Or soft tip.
well, then you're not a dart player. I mean, if you don't play anything, we're talking about if you're a dart player that never plays steel. To call somebody a soft tip player or soft tipper or whatever, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's accurate, right? Anyway,
Correct. I get the concept.
I mean, you said something about how
I
dart
think it's-
players who predominantly play soft tip feel somehow there's some not a comfort level when they go to a steel tournament or something.
Well, no, it isn't that. They're just a little different. They're quieter. You know.
The
It's a lot-
players are quieter.
Well, playing steel tip's a lot quieter than playing soft tip.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, it's just a different environment. And I don't think it's the PC thing. I think it's how people say it sometimes. Like, oh, you're a soft tipper. Or you're a soft tipper. Just
Well-
kind of how you say it. And it goes same for steel.
I mean,
or
well-
for anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just how people say things.
Okay.
We all play darts.
So each person perceives it differently is basically what's going to happen. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
Should we
you
play
can
the
you can
disclaimer
perceive
again?
somebody's tone however you want. What did you say?
I think we should play the disclaimer again.
Well,
Yeah.
no. I mean, look.
Well,
I mean, when it comes to the show, and this is our goal. And when we don't reach it, or if you guys feel like I'm not reaching it, you could feel free to, call me out on it. We're supposed to be objective and talk about darts as a sport.
right.
Now, the BDO may not think that soft tip is a sport, but
But it's not like
when you look at these darts live events, you couldn't call it anything but a sport.
right. But it's
You
not
know-
like you're going to a soft tip or like a steel tip tournament, and any soft tippers that are coming in, it's like Revenge of the Nerds, where people are on the balcony going nerds, 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 because soft tip players are coming in. I mean, it's not that big of a deal,
Nobody cares.
right?
On the
It's- it
steel
doesn't-
tip side, nobody cares.
it doesn't make it.
I mean-
doesn't make a difference.
And everybody knows that, like, there's plenty of dart players that have gravitated toward soft tip in the last, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, whatever it may be,
Mhm.
but used to play steel. Like, I don't think anybody, says Paul Lim's a soft tipper. I mean, Paul Lim's a dart player. But
Mhm.
Paul also he'll show up and play steel,
Of course.
right? He's over there playing in the World Championships last December, January, whatever it was. So, I don't know. What are we even talking about?
Darts Live.
Yeah, so who do you think's going to win? Now that you know where I'm going.
Okay,
Who
so
you
you're putting
picking?
me on the spot.
I'm putting you on the spot
but-
because
but I
you
hear
know a lot of the guys,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, in America, by the most difficult area to win in has to be like around Chicago and southern Wisconsin. Has the best concentration of top. Well, if I say top dart players, everyone in on the East Coast is going to argue.
Right, of course.
If I say soft tip dart players, then I'm shortchanging the people that are like dart
That are-
players. But let's
yeah.
face it, if you
That
if
are
you look at-
dartual.
Look at
so
all
to
the
speak.
well, yeah. Look at the Midwesterners that go to Hong Kong in these world stages and do really well.
Mhm.
They're all from this area, right? So we've got the best concentration. So I'm thinking Madison's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, there's going to be like so many good players there, and I'm really so I'm out in the first round, whatever. I mean, I'm curious to see what the level of play is,
Mhm.
and talk to a couple of people, maybe compare to how it was in Washington. Well, we did the results from Washington, and like half the guys in the top 8 were from the Midwest. What
Right.
does that tell you? When you go to Hong Kong, you've got, maybe 10 Americans or something, and, more than half of them are from the Midwest. And when you look at the top 8 or top 16, there they are. So, I mean,
Is
do
there
the
more?
math,
Is there more
you know?
soft tip in the Midwest than there is in the East Coast or
I-
anything
I-
like that? Or
That I couldn't speak to.
right.
I know outside Chicago there's almost no steel. I know in southern Indiana
Right.
there's almost no steel. I know Florida's got a lot of soft tip and some steel. I don't know what the ratio is
Yeah,
there.
down South Illinois, there's no steel.
If you go to
All
if you
placed.
go to New England, if you go to like New York or you go to like Boston, I don't think there's any soft tip at all.
Okay.
I think California might be, from what I hear, California, which used to be a big steel town or area, big steel area, might be 50-50 or might have gravitated now toward a majority of soft tip. I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody from around there. I'm pretty sure in England there's no soft tip. I know in Holland there's
Right.
a lot. So
well, I
mean,
was in Wisconsin this weekend, and there wasn't a
you're
steel
not going to
tip-
find.
there
in
wasn't a steel
Wisconsin,
tip board.
You won't find a steel board
Yeah,
in Wisconsin.
no, it was a
I
soft
mean,
tip board.
There might be one steel board somewhere in Milwaukee,
Right.
and that's it for Wisconsin. No, seriously.
Yeah, no, I
But-
believe you.
You know, any area, like if you go to Maine, Maine's got like some fantastic steel players, and they spend all winter playing darts indoors, right? So you go to their, whatever that tournament was I went to, I couldn't believe how many good players they had, and that's what I'm expecting to see in Madison.
Mhm.
I'm expecting to see a lot of guys that, probably don't travel, but play, at a very high level. And this is their game, I mean, I don't know how often they play, the 701 cricket 701 thing, but I'm thinking it's going to be like a fabulous level of play
Right.
all throughout the day. That's what I'm expecting. And I have no idea what the venue's like. I mean, anything like that. But, I mean, it's only like a 3-hour drive.
I think there'll be a lot of noise.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
Boards dinging and
well, it's not. Some of the boards are loud. I always thought the Arachnid boards were kind of loud, and the Medalist boards I really didn't like. I thought they were like
no.
totally loud.
I don't like them at all.
It was very annoying. I don't think like the Shelties that I played last week in Chicago, and when I played the darts live, I found it very unobtrusive as
Yeah.
far as like the sounds they make. You got to kind of get used to them because you hit one thing, you get different sound. It's whatever. But I could pull my darts out of the darts live board
Mhm.
with no problem. I found that like a huge improvement, right? Because I don't know if it's because Arachnid puts brand new boards in the bull shooter, but I mean I throw 3 darts and the thing almost tips over when I try to get them out, and guys are laughing. I'm like,
yeah.
geez, really? Usually I just take my darts out and
It's
walk away.
easy, right.
It's not
don't
supposed to be an issue.
Prop your foot up against
I need
the
a
board.
callus on my left hand from
Yeah.
pulling my darts out of the board. I mean,
Right.
that was
Yep.
a new one.
Oh, God forbid you should ever get a callus.
I have all sorts of
All right,
calluses.
so-
What are you talking about?
Who's going to win?
Okay,
yeah.
so
Pick a
um,
winner.
I have so many friends that are playing.
Oh, that's why I'm asking you. So
Okay.
you can
So,
let's
but
see you
here's what I'm-
irritate
all right,
somebody
well,
by
here's-
something
here's
you
what
said.
I'm going to say. Since we're going to be in Madison, Wisconsin,
Yes.
I'm going to go with the home field. I'm going to go with the homeboys, and I'm going to say that Scott Kirshner and Ben Dersh are going to play in the finals.
So you're completely dissing like Scotty Miller, Ray Carver, Big Dog.
Oh, see, I'm not dissing them at all, but they have home field advantage.
How is
Trying
it?
to
They're not
create a
from
controversy
Madison.
here.
They're from Janesville.
But they play there all the time. See,
Why do they go to
don't have
Madison?
drive. They don't have to drive very far. Janesville's not that far from Madison.
It's like an hour.
It's not that far. It's closer than Big Dog and Scott have to drive.
I don't know. They
And Ray.
okay.
Hello.
So because it's a shorter drive.
Yeah, I'm going with
They-
home field advantage. And the only reason I'm just saying home field advantage is because I'd like to pick them all to win. So, I can't pick them all to win.
Okay, well,
So
let's
who's gonna win the
say-
final?
Well, let's say,
Oh.
yeah, who's going to win between Benny and Scotty?
You saw my picks.
Yeah, he just picked 32. You only got to pick one
How
match.
many of those people do you know personally?
Absolutely.
He knows
none.
every single one of them.
Absolutely.
He
that's
he's
what I'm
had
talking
lunch
about.
with every
Yes.
single person.
All right, so
Yeah.
if I gotta go between, I don't know. Benny's on a roll. He just won the last one, so
Benny Dersh.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to pick
I-
Benny.
I'm
All right.
I'm gonna go Benny.
All right, give us a dark horse. Give us somebody that maybe no one would expect that you think has a pretty good chance of winning. Like, for instance, like Leonard Gates has been winning everywhere, right? So he might be like a good betting
I
favorite.
don't know because I haven't
Somebody
looked
like
at the
that.
field. I don't know who all signed up to play.
Assume all the good soft tippers are going to play,
Mm.
or all the good dart players who play soft tip. See, that's just too awkward to
You
say.
know, I'm gonna pull in Mike Maloney then.
Oh, there you go. Okay, what did he? Top 8 in Washington?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Mike Maloney in for top 4.
Okay, so he's your dark horse. So you
Yeah.
got, who'd you pick to win?
Dersh.
Benny Dersh. And
Sorry,
then who?
Scott.
You
I don't
can't
think-
Oh, no,
please
he's been on-
everybody.
And
He's been
here's
on
why.
fire, though,
well,
yeah.
here's why I would not pick Scott. I wouldn't pick Scott because he might be dealing with actually getting the tournament going and stuff. So he might be a little distracted, is what I'm thinking, because he's involved with Darts Live on some level and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So it may be that he's a little distracted. I could see that happening. And then also, it's funny. Like, I haven't played well in Chicago in a long time. I mean, there's something about playing in Chicago that's different. Maybe it's taking the subway to a tournament or something.
You're wide
know,
awake.
It just I don't know. It's kind of weird.
You don't have any
playing-
downtime.
if you're somebody who's always playing on the road, it's unfamiliar to play at home.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like some of the Philadelphia guys don't do that well at the Ray Chesney. I mean, I don't know who won which city last year, but you know what I mean? Like I've heard, you know, I can't remember. Somebody said they don't play well in Columbus. Somebody from Ohio said they don't generally play well in Columbus. You know, stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
I could see that happening.
Sure.
So she's talking about like home field advantage, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I don't know. There's a flip side to that if you're
Yeah, you
the
go to a
wagering
tournament, you get in
kind.
a rhythm, you get there, you pack your bag, you know, put
I got
go
some picks
hotel,
from
whatever,
the chat
do everything.
room.
Oh, picks from the chat room.
Yeah.
With no ding. Oh,
We should
Okay.
take our last break.
Should we take a
before
break?
We go to these
all right.
picks.
We'll get picks from the chat room when we come back. This will be a quick break. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mark, Steve, chat room dinger, and we'll be right back.
Why do we have no volume? Thank you.
Okay, let's try that
Hey,
again.
there we go.
Oh dear.
Do you want to play the bumper again? Do you wanna-
Did they not? Yeah, they probably didn't hear the bumper.
no, probably not.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Another good reason to listen to the podcast. Welcome back for the fourth quarter, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators and Jeff Dodson for the bumpers. Looks like I clicked on the wrong little
Yes,
camera
apparently.
thing there. Whoops.
Was the bottom right one not active? Is that what it is?
What it is
Yeah.
the bottom right one. I'm not even sure why that's in there, but it's not hooked up to the audio.
exactly,
So
right.
the people watching saw our mouths moving. and
Nothing.
probably
It was
were
like, yeah, it
And
was
they
like
were
a,
like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's a
the-
holiday!"
it was like a kung fu movie. Anyway,
Oh gosh.
Lord.
all right.
So I don't know. Oh, so okay,
Oh, we got
Dinger,
picks.
ding away.
I
We
got
have chat room picks
picks. I
for
got
now.
picks.
This is so who's gonna win stage 2 of the Darts Live Americas
Yeah,
tour.
I've got Larry
Larry
Butler.
who? Oh, is
Ethan-
Sharon in the chat?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yes,
did
of course.
Sharon pick that?
But she's not the only one. I got
Okay, so Larry-
Easton Velchik.
Eason Veljic. Okay.
He
I've
picked. He
got
picked
a-
Larry.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, somebody picked Eason
No, I
Veljic.
know.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got a
Okay.
let's see here, top 4: Carver, Ray Carver, Larry Butler, Ben Dersh, and Leonard Gates.
Okay.
I have a Jeremiah Myler if he goes.
Jeremiah Millar.
Yeah,
Okay.
if he goes.
He's from Michigan.
Yep. And let's see, top 4: Darren Young, Larry Butler, Soldier, and Ray Carver.
That sounds very familiar. Okay. Talk about picking
going out
chalk.
on a limb here and saying that's funny. Going out on a limb and saying Paul, ha, Paul Lim.
Well, he was in Washington.
Yeah,
That's not much of a limb.
I know.
That's
but
like a
get
separate
it
tree.
out on a limb. Get
Yeah,
it
that's-
Lim as in Paul Lim.
Oh, wow.
my God! Welcome to the party, Steve.
Wow, we have puns in the chat room.
Oh.
Okay, right.
And everybody got it, but you.
Wow.
Well,
He
can
who
I tell
laughs
you?
last didn't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody
So,
else? I don't know who. I don't know that I would pick anybody. I don't really know. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of great players. I just don't know.
Jeez, the field sounds amazing.
Well, yeah, but everybody's picking like the same names. Like I would not pick Darren. I would not pick Larry just because they've been playing like steal, and I don't. Maybe they can do it, but I don't think it's very easy to go from steal right to soft tip. Like you look at Leonard
kinda
Gates
like
is going
reading-
soft tip, steal, soft tip.
It's like
okay.
reading a race program, though. I mean, you see there. I mean, do they have previous events in plastic?
Ooh,
Well,
have
yeah, they
one-
do.
we have
So
one
you could
pick
see
for
how they've
Steve.
done.
Oh well,
Yeah.
obviously, somebody in the chat room
Yeah.
is on something illegal.
Yeah,
Beanie?
you're the only person he knows, he said.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, I'll do my best to get out of the first round, which I don't even know. It's kind of weird. You have to go Friday night to play in this count up thing, and I was just going to show up on Saturday. So if I just show up on Saturday, here, strategize with me for a second. If I just show up on Saturday, they will blind draw me in below everyone who qualified. So let's say it's supposed to be a field of 128. Let's say 8 people don't show up. So the top 8 players get a bye.
Mm-hmm.
Who finish in this it's not called count up, it's called something else, but you play this one little game, shootout. You play shootout Friday night, and then where you finish in relation to everyone else is where you're seated. So if you've got the 11th best score, you're the 11th seed, right? So let's say that they're missing 8 people, right? Let's say there's 120 people. The top 8 people that play shootout, the top 8 scores get a bye in the first round.
Of course.
Right? Now, depending on how many people don't play the shootout, those people are randomly drawn in against, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13 on the shootout list, depending on how many people there are. So if I'm the only one that doesn't play, I would play the 9 seed, right? The top 8 guys would get a bye, and then I would play
you'd
the
be
9 seed.
only one drawn, right?
So I'm thinking it's kind of disadvantageous for me, especially since, I'm not that familiar with soft tip.
To
I
go
don't
play the
never
9 seed
play.
first?
Yeah, and then I remembered something that somebody told me. A couple of people actually have this in their head. This is where you have to strategize with me and tell me if this makes sense to you. Wouldn't you rather play the number 1 seed in the first round before he really gets rolling and then knock him out, and now you're the number 1 seed?
Yeah, I mean, I can
Right.
see it.
Somebody made this argument to me that he would rather do that than, be like, the number 17 seed or something, or the number 32 seed,
Right.
where you
Had
get
to
him in the
play him in
second
the
round or
third
the
round.
third round, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'd rather be the seed. But how do you get to be the seed if, you don't
Yeah.
go to these things, right?
Well, he's bringing it from the stipulation that you're not a seed anyway. So wouldn't you rather?
Well, you don't
play-
know. They reseed these things every single event. You go and you play this shootout game. So if somebody like Paul Lim or name anybody, if he has a bad shootout score, he's not going to be the number 1 seed. He'll be wherever he scored in that shootout thing. Now the shootout thing, when we did it in Las Vegas, I was playing in a blind draw or whatever, or men's doubles, whatever it was, where you'd play a match in the doubles, run over, get in line for the shootout, and then the minute I got to where I was about to shoot out, I had to go back and play.
Right.
So it was very, I don't know what I scored. It wasn't very good, but I was kind of like, well, I don't know how they do this. I don't know how many boards they're going to have. Should I go Friday night? Then I got to get a hotel.
But you don't
Should
think the guys has any merit? Wouldn't you rather play the number 1 seed in the first round?
Well,
I mean,
I'm wondering.
you're stepping on coals because, if you
Well-
lose, you're out in the first round. And
Well, yeah, but I could be out in the first round anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of
Or if
incumbent
you-
on if you don't bring a game, you're going to get shellacked by.
Sure.
There's probably like 50 guys that'll wipe the floor with you.
Mhm.
Unless you bring a serious game.
Right.
I'm just guessing at 50. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's 80. I mean, I don't know. I don't go to Wisconsin that often.
Sure.
It's a nice place to boat.
Oh, yeah.
I went to a blind draw
Apparently
in
there's-
Kenosha
there's-
once.
There's ATVs all over the place, too. Just that's all they do.
Pontoon boat,
Mm-hmm.
cooler,
Pontooning is fun. Yeah.
mask and fins. It's fun. Anyway, so
I don't think you'll be doing that this weekend.
do we have any more picks? Or is that it? So who's going to win based on the chat
we got
room?
another,
Is
we got another Scotty Kirshner pick.
another vote for Scott?
Nobody.
Scott Kirshner
Only
pick.
you're the
Nobody-
only vote for
We
Dersh.
got a
Well, then I'm going to
Scotty
pick
K,
somebody.
Paul Lim, and Benny.
Scotty K, Paul Lim, and Benny. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. I'll make a pick. I'll go out on a limb. You know
Okay.
what? I'll pick. How many picks do I get?
2.
That's it? Just 2?
Hmm?
All right. I will say.
How many do you need?
I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? No, but I'll tell you
did,
what.
Did
I'll
you say
take.
the top 8 get a bye? The top 8 don't get a bye.
No, what
He
I
was
said
assuming-
was I said
Exactly.
was if there's only 120 people,
Exactly.
right, then the top 8 get a bye
They have
because
to. You
Right.
got to make
the
the bracket
buys
season.
go to the
Exactly.
top seeds. That's
just,
what I
just
said.
clarifying.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No, I'll say Scotty Miller. Right, there's a name nobody mentioned. You know, Scotty Miller's got a great record in these things. Let me have 4. I'll take. Everybody's putting 4 in the chat room. I'll go Scotty Miller. I'll go Randy Van Duerson because it's not a very long drive for either of those guys.
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think. And then I will take somebody from far away. Who can I take from far away? That plays soft hip.
Paul Lim.
Yeah, well, okay. Taking Paul Lim, you're accusing me of taking chalk.
Is he not
I mean,
from far away?
Is he not the ultimate chalk pick?
Well,
Is to take
but
Paul
you're
Lim?
good at that, and it seemed to work out well for you. You just didn't have the winner.
I did have the winner. I picked Taylor.
Okay.
How did I not have the
Wow.
winner?
All right, you had the winner.
The only match I missed was Van Gerwen losing
Right.
to Lewis because he couldn't hit 2 double 8s. Otherwise, I'd have been golden.
Somebody said Chris White.
Oh, well, somebody stole my thunder. Right, Chris is coming. I was going to say Scotty Miller, Chris White, Randy Van Duerson, and someone else. I got to add one more name. Chris White's a great pick. You know, I like the way Chris approaches tournaments. I mean, I don't know him very well, and I don't talk to him very often, but I kind of like if you look at some of these dart players at tournaments and you look at their body language and stuff, there's a lot of people that don't appear very confident. Chris is not one of those guys. Chris always looks confident. I'll say Jay Barlow
All
if
right.
he comes. If he comes.
Yeah.
Jay Barlow, I got to watch him a little bit, and I think actually he lost to Leonard Gates in the cricket, but Jay looked like he was throwing pretty good. And I don't think Jay's I have no idea if this is true, but I am guessing that Jay does not spend as much time playing as a lot of these other guys. And yet he still shows up and plays good. And here's a guy that when he gets hot, he can beat anybody. So who did I pick? Scotty Miller, Big Dog, Jay Barlow, and Chris White?
Correct.
Okay, there's 4 names that nobody put in the chat room, so I can at least
Chris
say I'm
White
original.
was in the chat room.
Oh, Chris White's in the chat room?
No.
Oh,
No,
well
he's
then.
not in
Oh,
the
I was
chat
going to
room.
say. Then
You said
everybody's
put
going to
in
think
the chat
I'm-
room.
No, he's not in the chat room.
Oh,
Someone put his
okay.
name.
Oh, somebody put his name. That's a good
Yes.
guy. No, you know, and Chris does good at these things too, so I have no problem with that. No love for Ray Carver. I am not even going to quote.
No, he
What
outdiddles
somebody-
him all the time.
Well, no, everybody
gonna
else
say,
is
Polly,
picking him.
yeah,
I'm
no,
not,
Polly
I'm
picked
not
Ray.
taking
I know,
Larry.
I
I'm not
know.
taking Larry, Ray, and Darren.
When
and all the
everybody else
guys
is picking 'em.
everyone else is picking.
I get it.
I wanted to pick names that
Yes.
I thought were
I know.
had a possibility of winning. that
Apparently,
nobody had
people weren't
mentioned yet.
listening.
Well, I know somebody that wasn't listening.
Right.
But okay. Just a reminder, we have some stuff in the can for weeks coming up. I sat down in Nashville.
Open the
And,
can.
Everybody's got some stuff in the can.
Yeah, I like to open a can right now.
Okay, that is a film term. No, I sat down.
My bad.
I sat down with Ryan Barnett and had a really nice conversation. So we're going to do a profile on Ryan Barnett, if not next week, the week after. It'll be pretty soon. And you guys are going to be absolutely fascinated by what he has to say. Ryan doesn't. Ryan's not one of the chatty Cathy kind of darters like some people think I am, right? Ryan doesn't, you know. But we got him to talk a little bit, and you'll be absolutely astounded by what he has to say.
All right.
So we have
like
that
it.
coming up. We're going to have, I couldn't get him this week. We're going to have Anthony Eugenia on the show in a week
Oh,
or two.
good.
Yeah,
about
Anthony's going to
time.
visit us. Yeah. He's going to tell us there's been a couple of tweaks to the NWDS format.
Nice. All right.
And we're going to have him on. He'll tell us about some of the tweaks. From what I hear, one of them I'm not terribly fond of. But
Not
we'll-
tweets. Tweaks?
Tweaks.
Tweaks.
Tweaks. Not tweets, but tweaks. One of them I'm not terribly fond of, so we're going to discuss that.
Perfect.
Kind of figure out why things are
That'll
the way
make
they
for
are.
good radio.
Wow, look. I got beat up all weekend over that cherry picker thing. I got to tell you, I mean, I left a trail of blood all the way back to Chicago.
It's all in
and
good fun.
I don't know if some people, I don't know
Well,
how much
that's their
fun it
own
was,
problem.
but yeah.
That's
no.
their own problem. The rest
See,
of
you
it's,
don't
it's
you
all
don't
good
go to
fun.
these tournaments. Saying it's their problem. I mean, well, according to the disclaimer, it is, right?
It is.
Yeah. So
If
then,
they
okay.
don't- yeah.
Right. Well, we just got the disclaimer right before the show, so that was good. We're also going to have we're going to talk with Bob Seneve in the near future. Bob is involved with NAPTA and some other organization that I don't know anything about, and we're going to get some answers from him. And I want to
There's
have
actually something out there that you don't know anything about.
well, I know something about it, but I am not going to. We'll let Bob describe it.
Yes.
I mean,
Right.
we were planning on doing a show about the ideal dart organization and what that would actually entail structurally and all this other stuff. So we'll get Bob in and ask him, some questions about that. And I've talked to him in the last 2 tournaments, and we haven't really had time. Because you go to these tournaments, you have to play. It's hard to sit down.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was gonna, well, it was kind of funny. Our 4-man team was entered, withdrawn, and then entered again.
How do you
So-
do that?
Well, because it was a little disorganized.
It sounds like it.
Well, I wasn't going to play. I got kind of roped into it. I was going to,
Right.
Sit down with Jeff Dotson and record these bumpers, and it was like they roped me into the 4-man, so we didn't have as much guitar time as I would have liked. But it was still, I thought they came out really good, so I was happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything in the chat room?
Nope, we're just discussing when the tournament is. You brought up Ryan. People are excited about Ryan being on. He's a good player.
Ryan's going to be. I haven't done the editing yet, but I would have to say that this will be probably the best interview we've ever had. I mean,
All right.
because we really got a chance to talk seriously about a couple of things, and it's easy for people. You look at sports people. They get asked like these softball questions, and then they just spit out cliches.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
This show's
It's like
never really
watching
been.
Bull Durham.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
show. Yeah, exactly. This show's never really been about that. I mean, we try to speak the truth as best we know it, and we try to be honest and upfront about things. And for players to do that, who have sponsorship and have ambition and stuff, it's not the easiest thing, right? And wait till you catch what Ryan's got to say. Hopefully, we'll have that next week. Picks for the Nationals in Stamford. We don't call them the Nationals, but the ADO Club, the ADO Club Championship for 501 will be next weekend. So we could do picks. We'll do those picks
Next Wednesday.
week. Yeah,
Right.
for the ADO Club Championship and stuff like that. We'll
Right.
do that next week. Anything else in the chat room?
Are you in my chat room?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're in my chat
Am
room.
I in your chat
because
room?
you just
Why-
read what I was going to.
That was a complete and total accident. I'm quite sure.
OMG.
He's trying to wrap up the show, and
Okay.
apparently he's already
I asked you if there was anything.
he's
in the
already
chat
in
room.
post-show mode. He's already
Yeah.
he's already thinks that we've
Yeah.
stopped everything, and he's
Is
taking
that what I
care
am?
of-
Post-show
yeah,
mode.
Post-show
Okay.
mode.
All right. Well,
You are.
la di da di da.
I could I'm a moderator. I could kick you out.
I don't know if you can or not.
Don't. And you touched my bell. Okay,
Hey,
you're in my
hey.
chat
Wow,
room.
this
and
is-
you
Easy
touched my
there.
bell.
Easy
Here
there.
comes like, is there a criminal category
What's the song?
for chat
Ring
room
my
girl
bell.
assault? I mean,
Ring my bell.
I don't know that one.
All right.
Ring my bell.
Isn't that a song?
Wedding Bell Blues. I know that one.
But don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything from the chat room before we go?
Hey, my chat room's great as always.
Does it really matter because we're going to close out the show and anybody
Yeah.
else to
Well,
the
if
chat
there's
room?
anything
we're
to
gonna
address,
continue
we'll
it on.
address it. And okay, we'll hang out in the chat room for you guys
See,
when we
that's my
stop
point.
recording. If you got anything for us, thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget you can always download the audio.
Oh, I have one more thing.
Okay. Oh, there is one more thing.
I would like to wish Alice Hutchinson a happy birthday tomorrow, Thursday, August 1st.
And,
Oh, well,
and we
yes,
do have
we
one
should do
other
that.
thing.
We have a sad note,
Yes.
and especially for the people in and around Michigan. Apparently, I don't know if he's the president, but one of the people involved in the Grand Rapids Dart League, Michael Gonzalez, had an accident and is, from what I understand, in pretty critical condition in the hospital. So our thoughts and prayers out to Mike and
Absolutely.
his people. And if there's any news or anything that we can pass along, we'll put it on the Dart Talk Facebook page. It was really sad to hear that. I heard it right before the beginning of the show. I was like, you got to be kidding me with this. So, yeah, it was a real bummer. So thoughts and prayers out to him. He's a good guy and been a big supporter of darts in and around Grand Rapids, Michigan. Anyway, you can always download the podcast off Stitcher.com, off TuneIn.com, and off iTunes. You can find Dart Talk on YouTube, where we have the video archive. We have a Facebook page. Feel free to post stuff there if you like. And other than that, we will be back next week. We'll have an interview with Ryan Barnett. We'll have our ADO Club Championship picks and whatever else we come up with.
And plenty more.
Oh, and a report on the Stage 2 in Madison.
Absolutely, of course.
We'll see if I can keep my eyes
results
open.
from Darts for Kids.
Well, you can bring those.
I will do that.
Don't forget those. Make sure you write them down, alphabetical order, stuff like that.
I'm going to text Bob right now.
You do that.
All right.
And thanks, by the way, to Dave Clark for getting us the Nashville results in a timely manner. We appreciate that. And then happy birthday, Alice.
Happy birthday, Alice.
Okay, we'll Dart talk to you guys next week. Everybody take care. And we'll be back in the chat room in a minute.